Rush Ricketson is with us here today. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thanks for having me, Toby.
Now, can you describe to us what it is that you do?
Sure. Man, it's always evolving. I think the number one passion, right, is helping people do something bigger with their lives, right? So that's usually one of three different ways. That's people who already are on their path. They know what they want, and like, how can I help them? How can I help them push further? It's people who, type two is people who know there's something for them but can't quite find it. How can I help them
Ah,
find it? And then the third is maybe somebody who hasn't had that woken up inside of them yet, right? Like
mhm.
maybe they're going through their day to day and don't quite know what's in there, but how can I help them wake that up and begin this quest for their true calling?
Yeah, is it quite hard to do that? Because I'm guessing if they themselves don't know what that thing that they're meant to do is, then how can we expect you to know?
Man, it's so difficult, right? And I
Yeah.
don't and I don't know what's in everybody's heart, right? But
Mm.
I'm so convinced that when everybody when everybody follows what's right for them, and when everybody does the right thing in society, like whether it like across all races, creeds, cultures, religions, everything, right? When people do what's right by their own standards, it like still creates a better world, right? I don't
Yeah.
have the one answer, but
Yeah.
what I have is tools, systems, like ideas, values, and principles that I've seen help me find that in my own life and have helped other people find that in their lives as well.
Yeah. And in terms of success, how successful are your services? Are there great success stories that come with it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, some of what got me started was I was helping or still am helping people build their own small businesses, in
Mm.
particular with dietary supplement companies. And that is how I started working with a lot of brand owners in this capacity. And I'd always been in sort of this realm of personal development as
Mm.
well. And I've just now begun to really understand that there's such a broader audience that I can reach and so many more people that I can provide this value to, which is sort of why I've transitioned into, focusing more on helping individuals as well with those goals. I mean, I certainly do
Yeah.
the stuff with the brands as well. And that's helped people quit their day jobs, realize dreams they've never had, buy fancy cars, like, do by whatever goals they have, right? Like by whatever standards they have, achieve the success that they want. That
Mm.
looks different for people, right? Not
Yeah.
everybody wants their name on a billboard. Some people want to connect with their teenage daughters because they feel them slipping away. And if I help
Yeah.
somebody do that, then uh, that's also something that keeps me going.
Yeah. And in terms of the process, what do you do to help these people when you're working with them?
Sure. And the process is a lot of question asking, right? I
Yeah.
think most of us have the answers inside of us, right? But we get blocked, we get bogged down, we forget to ask those questions to ourselves because we're just inundated with technology or
Mm.
thoughts or feelings or all of that, right? One of the main proponents of my core system of changing your life involves quiet time with yourself, or it's like mandated. It's like minimum 30 minutes. Like you turn off all the technology and stare into nothing, right?
Wow.
Just let yourself feel, let yourself listen, right? If you've got a God, like listen to it. If you've got the universe, listen to it. If you've got your conscience, listen to it.
Mm.
And through that practice, right? Like I call that going to my idea factory, right? Like that's where I learn the most and I become the most productive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how did you first start to get interested in this field of work originally?
And I first started on accident, right? Because I was on the other side. Because I was one
Yeah.
of these people. I was one of these
Oh.
people who's like burned out with no real understanding of what was supposed to do, very acutely aware that I'm capable of more, and sort of like
Mm.
as just a sick sense of dissatisfaction because I know that I can do more and that I'm not doing it in my life in any area of my life, right?
Mm.
Uh, so I reached out for help, and I found people who helped guide me along the way, like many of which are still mentors that I have in my life today who have,
Yeah.
encouraged me to continue this path of like, well, now at this point, I believe firmly that in order for me to keep the life that I have and continue the trajectory that I have, I'm compelled to give it away freely, right? I'm compelled to help others.
Yeah. And what's the best bit of advice that those mentors gave you and you feel would be good for somebody today?
Man, that's such a great question, and there's so many ones along the way, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's really pertinent to me right now, at least, right? Like if you ask me this again in a week, I'd probably have
Yeah.
another one for you, right? Because I
Yeah.
can always hear them in my head when I have something come up, right? Which is
Mm.
part of why it's great to have long-term relationships with mentors. Is
Yeah.
most of the time now I know what they're going to say to me before I call, but I still call just to hear them say it. But right now, I think it's the strength and power that lies in understanding different perspectives, like truly understanding somebody's different perspective and being able to stop viewing the world, a situation, anything that's going on as yourself. And it can be very hard, right? It's like
Yeah.
when you are stuck living in your own ego and stuck living in your emotions and stuck reacting to your emotions, you never get the chance to do that. You never let your humanness and your logic and your ability to process take over. Instead, you're reacting. It's the first thing that comes to your mind is what you
Mm.
say, rather
Yeah.
than taking something in, chewing it, and truly understanding what it's like for another person to experience that same thing.
Yeah, I guess it's basically just taking a step back and looking at the situation from afar.
It's a huge piece. Yeah, I mean, a
Yeah.
huge piece to learning how to view other perspectives is certainly to do and say nothing first,
Mm.
right? When somebody says something to you, first say nothing. Think about it for a second, right?
Yeah.
Rethink about it and say, is there a new way I could consider this situation? If you're able to do that, you're going to save yourself a lot of frustration too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where are we able to check out your services everywhere and also find you on social media?
Definitely, yes. Right now, the best way to connect with me is on Instagram. Website is in development. YouTube channel is also in development. Those are both coming soon, but right now, Instagram's the best. That's at Rush Ricketson, just my first and last name. Please join along. Send me a message. I love connecting one on one with people too. I mean,
Mm.
this is literally the thing that keeps me going, right? When people, I can get, people who feel any kind of way in the comment section, but if I receive one person saying, hey, this helped me today,
Mm.
that's like, man, that's what it's all about. That's the thing that keeps me going. So please message me, reach out. If you've got a business question, you want to connect with your kids, you're trying to figure out how to skip the line at daycare, you're trying to sell more, grow your business. That's what I'm here for, and I want to help.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today. It's been great having you on.
Thanks, Toby, so much.